Appreciate you coming out.
We are back with Thursday night Drip Music X artist interviews, and we have legend John Joseph in the house. John, how are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm not a legend, but I'm here.
I don't know, man. I say, guy, we'll get into it, but I'd say you are a legend in the music game.
I like the intro music. That was cool.
We thought we had some legends on the show before, but I think we do tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Man, I've been around. You know, whether that gives me legendary status, I don't know about that, but still here, still grinding.
Well, your story is definitely one of legendary status, as you've been through a whole lot. It sounds like since the '80s and growing up in New York and being in the streets and everything like that. How did you get through all that?
Yeah, the story started in the '60s. My dad was a washed up prize fighter and got very violent. Decided to take it out on my mother, and we got removed from the house and placed into foster care in I want to say about '69, and bounced around and spent like 5 years in a really bad home, and the state closed it down, and from there we just kept bouncing around, and I ended up on the streets. I started going on the streets in '76 when I was 14, and I was trafficking heroin and selling drugs and doing whatever. Can I curse on this?
Yeah.
Oh, doing whatever the fuck I had to do to survive, and that's what it was all about. And with people trying to murder you, that's New York. I'm writing a memoir now. Actually, it's going to edit, but it's about since 1977, my years in punk rock and how I discovered it. It was actually '75. I was in a foster home in Garden City, and this I started taking drugs and drinking already just to deal with what happened to us, and I was like in this foster home, and this guy was at a strip mall, and he's fucking playing this music I never heard before, and I was like, "Yo, who the fuck is that?" And he's like, "It's the fucking Stooges, man." And I was like, and he was playing like Search and Destroy or whatever, like, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And then, like, just being on the streets, I started going to Max's Kansas City and got beat up my first punk rock show. I got the shit beat out of me. My friend stole money off the bar. Apparently, it was Johnny Thunders and the Heartbreakers' whole crew, and they stomped the living shit out of us, and I came back for more and never stopped.
What was that show? Who did you go to see?
I don't even know, because, like, we didn't even plan on going. We copped across the street, what they now call Union Square. It was only known as 14th Street Park. And it was like the fucking Walmart of the drug world. Prostitution, fucking any kind of drug you can name. Across the street was Julian's Billiards, famous place. People fucking sold drugs in there, shot up in the bathrooms. Palladium was right next to it. So we just went and sold drugs and copped some like Placidos and Tuinol. And we saw punk rockers hanging out, and he's like, "Yo, this guy Crazy Dave Dolan," and we just went across the street. And I went upstairs and to watch the band, and I was like standing in the middle, and then the band came on, everybody's pogoing, and I'm all fucked up. They're knocking the shit out of me. It wasn't slam dancing at that point. And then I stayed up there for like an hour, and I went back downstairs, and he had stolen money off the bar. Downstairs was like the restaurant. They had a DJ, and it was a bar. And upstairs was where the bands played. And then above that was the VIP and all that. So, like, I was like nodding out, sitting there, and the door comes flying open, and they're kicking the living shit out of this dude, and he crawls over, and he's like, "John, help!" And it was Dave. Then they just started wailing, "Oh, you're with this motherfucker!" Boom, bang, boom, bang, and then you know. But yeah, the streets was wild, and it was the fucking definite seed was there with the violence. And that year you had the blackout. It was the summer of punk. I started dating this older punk rock girl. I was like 15 and she was like 18, and started bringing me around to shows at CB's and all that. But yeah, when it was just the anniversary of the blackout the other day, and the fucking city just exploded with violence. And I was selling angel dust in Forest Park, and just crazy times, you know. But even in like the foster home, it was always music that got me through everything. You know, that was like the only thing I had. They took everything from us. We had to sleep in the filthy garage. We had to steal the dog's food to eat. Like these people were fucking animals, man. And the only kind of like I want to say fucking shit I could take shelter of was music. That was it. And it's been a theme for my life, really. You know.
So
And
was
up to
it?
that point, you had never thought about being a musician, I'm guessing.
Nah, never. I mean, I just love music. My mom told me I used to dance around when Sly and the Family Stone was on, Ed Sullivan. Like fucking, I just loved black music was my. I just loved it. And then yeah, like even we used to dream about like I would steal these like custom van magazines in the foster home in like '72. I was 10 years old. And back, that was the big thing. Everybody would mac out these vans and put fucking shag rugs in there and fucking all kinds of shit and posted glow light posters. And I didn't even know what touring was, but I said to my brothers, we're gonna travel around in these vans and go see music and do all this shit. And I'm like, you know, it came to fruition, you know, years after. I mean, I spent 2 years incarcerated for drugs and robberies and shit like that. So, but yeah, I saw Led Zeppelin, the original Zeppelin, at the Garden in '77, Sabbath in '76 with AC/DC, Ted Nugent. So I was hustling fake drugs at all the concerts at the Garden and going to pay to see. You would pay $5 for the for the fucking blue seats, the fucking nosebleeds, and I saw Sabbath, and that was fucking. I was all fucked up. I smoked like dust, threw up all over everybody. It was, you know, I wrote about it in my book. It was pretty fucking funny, you know.
It was a good time.
It was, you know, because like I said, I always had everybody telling me what to do and controlling my life, institutions, and then I was like, fuck this, the state failed me, and I'm gonna fucking roll the dice and go out on my own, you know, and that's what I ended up doing. And like I said, whatever it is that I had to do, I just, you know, drugs. I broke into stores, broke into like a fucking a pharmaceutical warehouse with these dudes. Like it was just New York was the wild, wild motherfucking West. And if you know, by the time I got locked up, I was the only white dude in Spofford. I was already fucking good with the hands. I would fight any fucking body. I didn't back down because you couldn't. That's, you know, if somebody was bigger than me, I just picked something up and cracked them. Fucking, that's it, you know. But it's just the way it was. I never looked for trouble. I just wanted to have fun and be out there. And but you know, there's other people that have other ideas. And I tell the story about, you know, the first time I saw somebody get murdered in front of me. I was hustling at the Garden, and I went into the bathroom at like the Blarney Stone or one of them shitty little fucking bars around the Garden, and this dude walked in and fucking kicked open the stall door and just started fucking killing this black dude that was on the toilet right in front of me. And he was standing between the door and like for me to get out, and he just walked up with the knife, and I was like the only witness, and I just knew the dude was a big Puerto Rican dude, and I was like, this motherfucker could kill me. And I just looked at him, and something just said, he went like this, don't, like, be quiet, drop the fucking, I don't know, it was a straight razor or something, because he was slicing the dude up. Just walked out of the bathroom, and that was it. Never a word said. So that's the type of shit you would see constantly going on. It was a different time in a different world. So, you know, and then I'm going to the punk shows and rock shows and fucking, it's just a wild time to be in the city and be a kid and, you know, out there on my own.
Where did you get started actually singing and fronting bands in the middle of that?
I went, after I got out, I went into the Navy, but, you know, it was like kind of a fraudulent enlistment. The guy hid my fucking criminal record, and the fact that when I was locked up, you know, they made me see it fucking shrink because I was violent. That's the only thing I knew. So when I got to lock up upstate, you know, in Spofford and all that, I just would fucking snap if somebody fucked with me, and they put me on like Thorazine, and like I stopped taking that, but then they had me singing a shrink. And you know, when I got upstate, it was music, but I never dealt with what happened to me as a kid. So it was always like drugs was gonna fucking numb that shit and hide that shit. And when I went into the Navy, I went in with all good intentions, but I was an addict. And to pay for my, back in 1980, when I went into the Navy, they didn't drug test or nothing. So I was just fucking selling drugs, doing drugs. And then I met the Bad Brains in 1980. First, I met the Teen Idols and the Untouchables, which was Ian MacKaye was playing bass with the Teen Idols. His brother was the singer of the Untouchables. And then that's my first time I ever saw a hardcore show. I was like, what the fuck is this? And they had just got back from the West Coast, so they were slamming, and like I was trying to pogo still, and they were knocking the shit out of me. And within a week, I shaved my head. I wore the engineer boots. I looked like a DC kid, black flag shirt with the sleeves. And I was jacked, you know, and I was in really good shape. And then right after that, the Bad Brains played there. And then I just started going up to DC on the weekends and fucking out. And then New York, I'm going up in 1980, seeing all the shows up there. And I just finally was like, I caught a drug case. They popped me. This dude set me up. And yes, I was looking at federal time. I talk about it in my book, like the whole chain of events that went down. Like I beat up this redneck, and I was restricted to the ship, and I had a jaw infection, and they had to medevac me off the fucking ship by helicopter and back to Roosevelt Roads. And back then there was no computers, so they forgot to write that I'm supposed to be a prisoner. Like, you know, I had to muster with the fucking duty officer like 5 times a day on the ship. And then I got back to Norfolk, started going back to shows and all that. And then I just broke the fuck out because I was looking at, like, they were talking like, you know, 10 years in Leavenworth. And I did too. I was like, I ain't doing that kind of time. So I split. And the first person I ran into, I caught a ride with the Undead at the 930 Club, and Bobby Steele was in the original Misfits. I saw the New York license plate. I was like, yo, are you guys going home? It's like, yeah, this is the end of the tour. We're going back to New York. I said, hey, can I get a ride with you? They drove me up. They let me off on Avenue A, and there's fucking HR standing in the doorway on 171A. Rastafari. Because when they played, we had this intense talk. And like he said, yeah, man, you know, I'll see you again and all this. And so we started rehearsing. Like, He tried to hook me up with this fucking crazy dude who got murdered. My first time in my first band, the guitar player got murdered by bikers and shit. He was like, his name was Bob, and he was sleeping with some biker's girl that he was trying to get back with her. So they just killed him. Yeah. And then the Cro-Mags started right after that. Harley, me, Dave Stein was the Bad Brains manager, and then Dave Hahn, I'm sorry, the late Dave Hahn, and Dave Stein was on guitar. But HR was the first one that like put a mic in my hand. It was like, you could do this, you know, like he gave me that fucking strength and that faith. And honestly, the Cro-Mags broke up after like rehearsing for a few months, and then Blood Clot formed, and we were all the roadies of the Bad Brains. And the first time I ever performed, it was like, it just was like natural. Like it was, I just felt like either past life or whatever, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I just fucking killed it. And that, you know, yeah, that was the first time in 81 on that tour with the Bad Brains, which I talk about because we went down south and the racism that existed. Nobody knew the Bad Brains were black. Dave Hahn, the manager, didn't put a picture of them. So we walked into this racist KKK. I talked about it a while back. This racist fucking biker bar, and they were like, you know, dropping N-words. What the fuck, y'all? You know. And Doc was like, yo, we're the band. And the guy goes, y'all ain't the fucking band, man. The Bad Brains are the band. And next to the KKK, support your local KKK poster was a poster of the Bad Brains and no picture. Like, oh, okay, here we go.
So that first,
and we stood up to the bikers and they backed down.
Nice. That first time you performed, did it feel like that it was meant to be because all the pain and stuff that you had been through? It felt like it was therapeutic that first time, like you was finally getting a release from it that the drugs and stuff couldn't give you?
Yeah, I mean, I can't sit there and try to be all fucking psychological about it now. I just was doing it, just came natural to me. I was fucking 19 years old. I'm like, I'm touring with the fucking greatest band in the fucking world. Anyone who saw the Bad Brains in 81 knows what I'm talking about. And I'm out there fucking, I'm their roadie, their security. They gave me the job because I fought these fucking Puerto Ricans that came in 171A while Bad Brains and Subhumans were playing, and they started beating up all the kids, and nobody would stand up. The Beastie Boys were there. It was only like 50 people there. And I fucking fought them. I knocked out the leader, fucking pulled off my chain. I'm fighting these dudes trying to stab me with knives. And, you know, they put a KOS on me, kill on sight. I couldn't even go downtown. Like Harley's mother was like, you know, all the street stories. It's like his mother was like, you can't hang out with him. He's going to get killed. Like everybody knew they were looking for me. And then I just finally went down there one night and I was like, all right, let's go, motherfuckers. I said, let's go with the hands. And he was like, nah. And then his dudes pulled out guns and they were like, take him to the building because they had the big drug spot. And that's when Doc and Darryl ran out of 171A, thank God. Like somebody must have seen what was going down and told them because they came out and were like, yo, yo, yo. And they were able to squash it. And then I moved in with the studio. And next thing I know, I'm on fucking tour with those dudes, like security. And I was the drum tech for Earl. Yeah, but yeah, it just felt like this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
It's better than being in the Navy.
Huh?
It was better than being in the Navy.
Yeah, well, better than lockup, better than the Navy. You know, it's just like it was just another institution, you know, like because when I got out of lockup, I never grew up with my mother and they had to release me to somebody, you know, they released me to her and she got a PINS, person in need of supervision. And I got popped fucking holding dope. They didn't catch me with it, but I went right back to Rockaway to the same people. They gave me like 3 bundles. They said, hold this. The cops chased me. I tossed it. So I was facing another fucking charge. And then my mom was dating a Navy recruiter. And he's like, look, man, I could get all this shit scrapped. You go in 4 years. My brother went in with me on the buddy program. And yeah, it was just another institution. But I was like, you're offering me jail or the Navy. I said the state didn't raise no fool. Let me get the Navy. And you know, the old commercial was, it's not just a job, it's an adventure. And it was. I was fucking out of my fucking mind. I was wearing Sex Pistol shirts on the base in Norfolk in 1980, like the Destroy shirt that they had. Fucking, they like, what the fuck? Crashed my car into the front gate one night. I was all fucked up on pills, and the Marines came out, and I just took off running. It was like, I just was like, this is another extension of, like, I did not change anything from my youth. I was using, I was drinking, I was fighting. Like the Norfolk punks, these rednecks came in and they wouldn't stand up to them. They would call, I fucking put a chair over one of their heads. I was like, even with the Puerto Ricans, I'm like, you know, I was in Spofford. I was in B3, the only white dude in the whole fucking facility in the South Bronx. The first night on the unit, I had to put a chair over somebody's head and knock out his friend. I just wasn't scared to fight. It just was a natural thing. I don't get in this whole, like, you know, psyching myself up or verbal shit. None of that. It's just a pit bull will wag its tail and fucking rip your face off. And I never got into like shouting matches or fucking any of that shit. It was just like when someone came in my space, it was like, all right, you know, like the dude tried to stab me. That's why I fucked him up. The guy from the gang. He literally tried to stab me and I blocked it and fucking bang, bang. 2 shots, took him down, banged his head off the curb. I was like, you know, it's just, that's what it was like. You know, anybody that was in Alphabet City, we had a saying, if you went to Avenue A, you were adventurous, B, you were bold, C, you were crazy, D, you were dead. And I'm down there fucking copping dope on C and D at 14 years old for a drug business these guys had in Rockaway Beach, which is where I saw the Ramones hanging out. And the whole punk rock tie-in. I think this memoir is it's like a punk rock memoir of all my years in punk up to the present. So like the shit that's in there is like the Saturday Night Live shit. I was on that when Fear played and seeing the Clash all those times and the Bad Brain shows and like just amazing moments in punk and hardcore that I was there for, you know.
Now, what was your favorite place to tour? Do you have one spot you just remember, like the most amazing show?
Like LA, man, especially when we went out there in the wintertime, because it was like fucking hanging out with the West Coast punks. And you know, all that slam dancing and stage diving, that shit started in California. Those guys from DC went out there and brought it back. So when we would go up from DC, I would ride up to New York with all the DC kids. We would put on, like when Black Flag played the Peppermint Lounge or Circle Jerks at Irving, like we would put on a fucking like demonstration. Nobody in New York was even slam dancing except for like James Contra, this crazy Russian kid. And everybody else was just like, you know, the same thing I did the first time I saw it. Like, holy shit, you're a spectator, and then one show later, you're diving off the fucking stage. So, yeah, I loved playing like London when we played there. That was a great fucking scene. Germany was always good. Berlin, you know, but DC was great. New York, nothing could top that, you know.
No, do you have a story about where the worst place you've ever done a show at, or something crazy that happened that was real? That's like the worst
so
thing.
many. Like Texas was always weird. I want to say like we played Covington one time, and like it was the Jockey Club, and like these rednecks like started fucking with our guitar player Paris, and I just fucking like I had a gallon of water, and it was funny because I punched this dude so hard with it that I knocked him out and woke him up at the same time. The fucking impact of the water hit him, and then. But there was a lot of there was crazy shit. We got busted by the DEA in Texas. I tried to fucking get weed, and I gave this guy a big bag of baking soda, but it was against the law. And fucking the DEA was like a drug town where everybody came across the border. And we're on tour with Motorhead. The van broke down. Our manager was ripping us off. He put us in like a 1979 plumbing van with no windows. Fucking had the engine was inside. We had to take the cover off, and whoever's in the front seat had to hold the carburetor door open, just crazy shit, but that's all these bands that started out like nowadays. It's like they're spoiled. They got all this shit. They got the internet. They got, fucking, social media, like
get their own music studios.
Everybody had to get a fucking like record deal and tour support. I'm like, motherfucker, we didn't get shit. We went out with nothing and we came back with nothing except memories. And we were in it for the real shit. But unfortunately, like when we did start doing good and selling our shows, our manager just fucking was robbing us blind. Chris Williamson from Rock Hotel.
It's always the manager.
I still have not received a single fucking penny royalty from that Age of Quarrel record to this day. And I don't even know how many copies that shit sold. I mean, can you imagine? Like that's a record everybody has. And it's like, but you do shit for the love of the music, not because like it's a payday, which is why I turned down the 40-year reunion. I'm like, I ain't interested, This year's the 40th anniversary. People hit me up. I'm like, nope, that ship sailed. Been there, done that. No, thank you. I'm not going to get on stage for money. It's not my thing. And, I'm busy with everything anyway. I live in Florida, but I got a place in New York too. And I was just up there. I wrote a film, so I got some heat on that now with a producer and director, and I got another book coming out. 2 books, actually. Ryan Adams signed me to a 3-book deal, so I got this book called City of Fear. It's like a dark noir fucking crime thing about 77 in New York City. It's crazy. And then I got this punk memoir coming out.
What's the movie about?
So I wrote this book called Destroying Monsters. And this was our family. It's endorsed by, Joe Rogan, Frank Grillo, a whole bunch of people. And it's about what led me to that path of where, it's about this kid. It's really a story of about somebody and my mom, it's really like a family story, but it's set in the crazy world of. So from 1988, things happened in the Cro-Mags, and somebody who I consider my best friend ripped me off from the band, and I was like, fuck this. I quit, and I spun out into like 2 years of addiction. And that's the period that this book is set in, that the movie is set in. What I like freebasing and just the first time I ever freebased, the dude had stole like weight from the Cuban cartel in Miami, and they came to the house and opened up on the fucking house with AR-15s. So that was my first experience of freebasing in Miami, and it just went downhill from there. And it was just a crazy, but it was a way of me navigating through all the pain and fucking, I never dealt with betrayal well because like I was betrayed. I felt by my mother. I was. She even admitted to me after my brother died that she feels guilty. She chose her boyfriends, didn't want us around pretty much, and I don't think she was mentally fit to take care of us anyway. They had her on all kinds of pills for what my father did to her. But yeah, that's the flick it's called Destroying Monsters. Because that's the addiction, and the whole story is breaking that cycle of addiction and abuse, because it ran in my family. My grandfather, my father's grandfather, my father's father, my father, my brother, they all did the same thing. Addiction, fucking, physical abuse, abandoning their children, same shit.
What was it that finally got you to come clean?
I almost got murdered. We did this whole big run on the West Coast. This girl I was dating at the time, and the cops were closing in on us. Shit was going crazy. Like, we had gangs looking for us because we robbed the drug dealer. And we flew back east, and then she told her parents were like very wealthy, big time, influential Hollywood people, like big time. They hired like retired FBI. They hired private investigators, like the whole shit, but they couldn't find us because we were hiding out in the underground punk scene and the fucking drug world. So we weren't out there. It was, it wasn't like they could track you now when you fucking use your credit card. But we spent like 200 grand of their money. And then I came back and we sold her car to get back to New York. And we got like 2 ounces of fucking blow, 2 plane tickets, and like $1,000. And it was like a $30,000 car. But we sold it to some drug dealer. And then she admitted on the plane, like she told her, she's like breaking down, crying. I'm like, yo, what the fuck's going on? And I remember her making a call at the airport. I go, who the fuck did you call at the airport? She's like, I'm scared of you. I don't know what you're capable of. And this, and fucking, I was like, she told her parents they've been looking for us for like 6 months. Missed us several times by like minutes. And I was like, this is it. I'm AWOL all these years. I got federal warrants. And I was like, when we get to JFK, the cops are going to be waiting for us. And they were. So I made her walk off ahead of me. I put a baseball hat. I merged in with this family, went down the escalator. But on the fucking plane, when she told me, I go, well, the first thing out of my mouth was, back then, I brought an ounce of cocaine onto the plane. I was doing fucking bumps. This was like 88, no security, nothing. And I put an ounce I checked the ounce into the luggage on the plane. So as soon as she told me that, I was like, we got to sniff all the fucking coke in the overhead. And I'm in the fucking bathroom. I got coke all over my face.
Well,
like reading the Bhagavad Gita to people like, you're all going to fucking hell. You're eating meat and drinking. And I'm like, out of my mind. And the stewardess is like, sir, sit down. I'm going to have to call the police when we land. I was like, they're already going to be there. Have at it. And then sure enough, I got away. But never in a million years, as soon as she got off the jetway into the terminal, it was raining. All these fucking suits, fucking dudes in raincoats just swarmed on her. We got her. And I hear like, who's got eyes on him? And I went there. And they went outside to try to get me. They never thought in a million years I'm going to go get the fucking luggage from the carousel. And that's what I did because there was an ounce. So then I got away. I went to this crack house on Avenue C.
Damn.
This like black lady. And you would just go in there and hit her off. Aluminum foil on all the windows. Like one of those like shady murderers and shit like in there. And I got 2 ounces, and these fucking big ass black dudes are looking at me, and and like everybody's just smoking crack. I'm cooking up freebase. That's the poor man's freebase. I got the real shit. So they're looking at me like, and I just sat down, and I had a big pile of rocks. Hit me in the fucking head with like a 2x4 or something. Knocked me out, took all my shit, beat me fucking bloody. threw me out on the street. They got all my money, they got all my coke, everything. I had nothing. And from there, I went to the Krishna temple in Brooklyn, and I said, if you don't let me stay here, because I was a monk there before, I said, I'm going to be dead. And from there, I climbed out of it from there, you know. I started being a bike messenger, uh, got back in shape, trained with martial arts under Ron Van Cleef, started working out again, and just got, you know, put weight back on. I was down to 130. I put on like 35 fucking pounds of fucking muscle when I started eating again. So that was it. It took somebody. They could have murdered me. Those people in there, but you know, luckily they just robbed me. But that was all, you know, enough sense for me to wake up.
And you've been clean ever since?
I had really, you know, I kind of like, I got clean for a while, and then I was dating this like model in New York, and we were going out doing ecstasy. I never did coke again, but we were drinking ecstasy, everything else, you know. And then I was like, my brother almost died, right, and he was dying, and I said, "Fuck this, man." It was like 1999 New Year's Eve, and I said, "That's it." And I've been clean since 2000 all the way to now. No drinking, 26 years, Ironmans, 14 Ironmans, just doing all this shit I just signed up for another one today. My friend was Special Forces in the Navy, and he's battling addiction too. So we said, hey, man, let's fucking do this Ironman together in Texas in April and raise money for his charity that he has, which helps veterans with PTSD and addiction issues after deployments. This guy did fucking 8 deployments to the Middle East. He spent 2 years in fucking Iraq. He had fucking TBIs. He's like this, and he's a punk rock motherfucker, man. Rancid. I had Rancid call him shit, Lars, fucking, because he needed help, man. He was like, you know, like when you get to that level of what these guys did, and then like they lose all their community and they're alone, their marriages break up a lot of times. A lot of these guys are fucking taking their lives now, and the government don't fucking take care of these fucking guys, you know. So yeah, we you know, I got, like I said, 20, like I coach people and stuff. I got a coaching business, and a lot of people they see what I've been able to do, and they're inspired, and they're like, yo, you know, I want to get clean. I got family. I had people call me that was like, dude, this guy wrote me on Instagram, and I happened to see it, and he was like sitting in his garage with a gun in his mouth, and he had done 10 years in prison. He got out. He was fucking up again. He had a kid, and he's like, dude, you know, I said, call me. And he called me, and I kind of talked him down off the ledge. It's like crazy stories with that stuff, you know, with it. And that's what I try to do now, is just help people, you know, stay clean and sober and be productive and really strive to do good shit in life. Because I'm like, if I could do it, anybody can. I was one of the most damaged, fucked up people around.
So do you plan on making any more music, or are you done with it?
We got Danny Biohazard just wrote a song, Tom Capone. I'm putting out music, but it's, you know, we're putting out a single. I just did the vocals, but we had technical issues, so I got her like with the gear. It was like something going on there, and so like I'm doing the vocals when Danny gets off tour. You know, do I want to tour anymore? No. Like I'm writing a one-man show right now too, called Made in New York, and it's about my experiences growing up in the city, how amazing it was, and telling stories about all the amazing people. And you know, like Chaz Palminteri had a Bronx tale. My tale is about the Lower East Side. He had mobsters, I had gang members and music. You know, that's the difference. But you know, Ditto Montiel said if he's going to try to get Chaz to come. I got the first show was at Jesse Mallin's club, October 8th in New York City. And one of my clients is business partners with Bobby De Niro. They did this big film production place called Wildflower Studios. It's the biggest television and film production place in all of New York State. It's like $1 billion project. He's like, I try to get Bobby to come out, so. And, New Yorkers are going to dig it because it's fucking, I tell 90 minutes of like real New York shit about how I think I got a unique story. Nobody done the shit as from where I came from to where I am. It's like, I just met with the producer. He's like, dude, you have one of the most insane fucking stories. And it's everybody loves a comeback story. And that's what you have. You did so much crazy shit and went through so much. And, people get inspired by those. I mean, I love to see somebody win. I never get envious of people when they've been through shit and they work their ass off and they get someplace. I'm like, God bless you, man. You deserve everything, I'm not into like all this entitlement shit where people think like I'm owed something. You are not owed shit. I don't care how long you've been on the scene or whatever, man. The rent is due and it's due every fucking day. And I'm up paying that fucking rent. I'm up at 4 a.m. I fucking train. I write. I do my shit. I coach people. I write music. I write books. I'm writing a short film. So, it's thank God I have an outlet for that, the writing, because I'm not really missing touring, honestly, to tell you the truth. I did it for I don't know how many fucking years. And, I had a certain stance during the whole shit that went down with COVID and people didn't gel with that. And even though now everything I was saying turned out to be the truth, people are still fucking hating. I'm like, why are you hating me? Why don't you hate the motherfuckers that lied to you? Yep. Every time I turn on social media now, somebody's fucking dying. Suddenly, another dude just fucking died. This person has brain cancer. This person fucking heart attack, strokes. I'm like, yo, they lied to you. Just fucking cop to it, man. Like,
yeah, that pisses me off. I got the COVID vaccine and stuff, and then after everything I found out, I was disappointed in myself for falling into that trap.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. We didn't care who the fuck. I never gave a fuck who took it. The hatred against me started in an interview because I was doing the record, and they interviewed me, and the guy at the end of the interview goes, so are you excited to get the vaccine when they come out? I'm like, what? I was like, I ain't taking that shit, dude. I'm like, I don't even take flu shots.
But even if you were going to get it, why would you be excited?
Yes, because it was mass formation psychosis. They told everyone the only way the world's going to open up is if we all do this. It was lockstep. It was mass. They pumped the fucking fear. I didn't fall for it. And I had COVID. I beat it in like a week. I fucking had the antibodies. I fasted. I did oregano oil, colloidal silver, all the antivirals. I never took any of that ivermectin or any of that. But then I posted up what Dr. McCullough, like he had a 90% success rate in killing the virus using ivermectin, which won the Nobel Prize, by the way, in 2015 for virology. And hydroxychloroquine and a combination of drugs. He created a cocktail. This is one of the most peer-reviewed he's wrote thousands of peer-reviewed studied fucking papers. He was praised until he went against the pharmaceutical industry and Fauci and Gates and all them. Then they tried to destroy him.
Yep.
So I said to Joel Kahn, who sent me the video, and Joel Kahn wrote the forward on this book. He was another one of the doctors that stood up because he's a cardiologist, and he was seeing what the shots, myocarditis, and all this shit was doing to people. So he warned people, and he's a vegan, and the vegans attacked him.
Yeah.
And I said, well, why would they block him from? And he said, because the vaccines didn't go through the proper clinical trials, and so when you put in for EUA, emergency use authorization, for a vaccine that didn't go through the proper clinical trials, there cannot be a treatment. If there's a treatment, they can't get EUA. So they blocked the treatment, thus letting all these people fucking go home, get sicker. Then when they came back to the hospital, I've documented this whole shit from the inside not from me, from, oh, would you hear this on YouTube? No, I was talking to all these doctors that signed on to the Great Barrington Declaration, which most people don't even know that exists. Thousands of doctors and scientists speaking out against what they were doing. And when they came back to the hospital, even sicker, Fauci put them on a drug called remdesivir and a ventilator. Remdesivir killed over 50% of the people that they gave it to during the Ebola outbreak. The medical staff nicknamed that drug "Run, Death is Near." But Fauci brought it to scale with Pfizer. It became the protocol in all the hospitals, and it killed thousands and thousands of people. And Pfizer made billions of fucking dollars because every hospital it was all about money. That's what I don't understand with the punk rock scene. Everybody knew that previously, that corporations are corrupt, the media lies, don't trust politics. Now all of a sudden, I never changed. I'm saying, yo, slow to roll, homie. This shit ain't adding up here. Why are they locking down healthy people? They never did that before. Then they're giving obese people donuts and hot dogs to take a shot. What? Make it make sense. So all I did, was fucking say like, hey, man. And I sent Joe the video of Peter McCullough in front of the Texas Senate. And he goes, holy fucking shit. And then he had Peter McCullough on his podcast, and that's when they came after him. What people don't understand is in 2019, in October 18th, I believe it was, they had this pandemic fucking thing in New York, a mock pandemic exercise roundtable with Bill Gates and who the fuck else, and some the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and Pfizer and whatever. And the first thing they said in Event 201 was, we have to control the narrative. We are the ones saying what everybody else needs to be destroyed. First thing out of their fucking face. And that's what they did to Joe. Do I agree with Joe's diet? Do I agree with Joe's politics? No. I don't have to, because just because somebody's wrong on some things doesn't make them wrong on everything. And he got it right. And he was the only one that spoke up, and he had the biggest fucking platform in the fucking world. That's why they came after him.
Yeah, they tried to cancel him.
Yeah. They tried to cancel him from Spotify deal. But the thing is, all he said was, why is it only from one guy? That's not science. Science means you beat the science. There was never, and I just watched this guy today. I love the comedian. What the fuck is his name? He has a podcast. And he's like, he had somebody on, and he's like, I don't understand what's going on. We're seeing all these people get sick and die like we've never seen in our lives. And people are not angry about this, about what they did. Where is the anger that they had toward those of us, put them in camps, take their jobs? Where's all that anger toward the people that actually did this the most fucked up thing we've ever seen in our lifetime? Where's Tom Morello? All their fucking what is this big concert he's fucking doing? It's all bullshit. The largest transfer of wealth away from the working class to the fucking rich elite took place during COVID because they shut down everybody's businesses.
But the stock market didn't shut down. The stock.
Check all these motherfuckers that back that shit. They all invested in the Pfizer, the J&J, the Moderna, and the AstraZeneca. You look at anyone, including Trump, because that's what people said. I'm a Trump supporter. I never fucking support. How could I support him when he rolled out Operation Warp Speed? He just had the CEO of Pfizer in the White House like 4 months ago, praising him for the work he did during COVID. What? Putting out a drug that's harmed millions of people? People just make shit up and then they run with it. And it's like, it doesn't even matter if something's true. They just put it on the internet and then everybody starts fucking believing it. And that's, that's what I don't want to get whatever,
Well, you're nailing it. You're nailing it all. Cause
I'm nailing it because I got the facts. That, and these fucking mooks in the hardcore scene that tried to cancel me and made up lies and all this bullshit about me. Whatever. Now they have to eat a bag of dicks because they're fucking wrong and they can't take it. So now they're spitting on some other shit. But I don't give a fuck because I never changed. When I heard Bad Brains FVK in 1980, You know, the bourgeoisies that better watch out for me all throughout the so-called nation. We don't want your filthy money. We don't need your innocent bloodshed. We just want to live. We just want to end your world. I never fucking strayed from that philosophy. Us against them. They made it us against us. Yeah. They divided into camps, and it's the unvaccinated. They're the fucked up people. Well, now they're wrong. Where's the apologies? My brother died from he was an addict, but he had a major stroke after the booster. The VA made him take it. So, like I said, I never judged anybody for doing what the fuck they wanted to do, but, you know, all these people spit so much fucking hate towards us, and now they look like fucking idiots, so they're just like, move on. Why are you still talking about this? Because people are fucking dying every day. Every fucking day. The dude from 120 Minutes just died. Taylor Hawkins didn't OD. That's a bullshit story because my friend was his sponsor. And fucking Grohl, they had to take them shots, and they didn't even have to. There was no vaccine requirement. They were made. Taylor Hawkins did shit for autism connected to vaccines, all this shit. My friend told me after he took them shots, he said, it feels like my heart is busting out of my fucking chest. And the first reports and the fucking autopsy from down where he died said that his heart was twice the size of what it was supposed to be. Go on Wikipedia now and see what it says. He died of an accidental overdose. Bullshit. These fucking people, they got all the media sewn up. They got everything. And I spoke out against all these motherfuckers that played the Vax Live concert, including Dave Grohl. Fucking got paid millions of dollars to fucking promote pharmaceutical fucking bullshit and tell everybody to take that fucking vaccine. Gene Simmons, fucking all these motherfuckers that, you know, came at Eric Clapton because he said he had a vaccine injury. It's just disgusting what they did. And Rolling Stone and all of them are a bunch of shit rags. And I mean, all these motherfuckers came at me for taking a stance and standing up and saying, no, motherfucker, this ain't what's going on is fucking, this is some bullshit. And I'll leave it at that. Anybody, you know, like I had people threatening me and I'm like, that's my world, motherfucker. Like, tell me where to meet you. I'll be there in 5 minutes. You know, it just got so stupid. And that's what the internet is now. A bunch of people with fake profiles, bots, I don't pay that no mind. You know what I love? The message I got. Thanks for being a voice of sanity. You helped me get through it because of all the information you put out. I didn't take the vaccine and I didn't give it to my kids. End of fucking story. That's just like the other hero that gave all his patients saline shots. That's a fucking hero. Yeah. Look at all these fucking people that are fucking getting. It's just insane what's going on right now, and the disconnect. It's like
you said, there's no talk about it.
Why are all these people dying and getting strokes and oncologists said they've never seen anything like it in their lives. The cancer start out at stage 4. It's never done that. This is all post 2021. Yeah. And it's the mRNA fucking gene therapy. They didn't even take a vaccine. To call me an anti-vaxxer shows how fucking stupid they are to begin with. You don't even know what you're talking about because you took a gene therapy. You didn't take a vaccine. Yeah. I'm not anti-vax. I'm like fucking bullshit. Like, you know, it's like they had to label you with this, that. Anyway, I don't want to harp on that shit till the end of the interview, but you know,
I saw it today on our post when I was promoting the show tonight, and all the people coming out and hating, and I was like,
"Who was?"
When I posted the promo for tonight's show, you know, there's a lot of comments, you know, about being an anti-vaxxer and all this stuff, and I just shaking my head, being like,
"You guys." But it's not even anti-vax. You took.
I know.
You know, it didn't stop transmission or infection. They admitted that they never even tested it for that. So they don't even make sense. They're just parroting shit that the fucking government told them to say, which call yourselves a metalhead or a punk or a hardcore dude is fucking ludicrous. You don't even know what you're talking about. You're just spouting off government fucking rhetoric that they taught you. You're a fucking sheep.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
basically what it is. But listen, even my girl said, I don't know how the fuck you dealt with all the shit that came your way. And you know how I dealt with it? I doubled down on my meditation. I doubled down on my training. I wrote books. I trained and finished an Ironman. I started a coaching business. I took all that shit they did and made it and used it as fuel to kick fucking ass. I put out the Souls record of Blood Clot. They were calling up fucking distributors and saying, if you carry the record, we're going to boycott you. Like, what kind of shit is that? What kind of fucking shit went down? It's unbelievable. And they still, anti-vaxxer. What are you, the spokesperson for fucking Pfizer all of a sudden? Like, you do realize they paid the largest fine for fraud in history, right? $2.3 billion fucking dollars. J&J had to pull their drug. Look what they did with the baby powder. Moderna, same thing. AstraZeneca. Lawsuits out the wazoo. You trusted people that are basically fucking criminals. And Fauci, what he did during AIDS, and Bill Gates, you trusted the most despicable people on the planet, and you turned against your own. And you still want to keep that rhetoric going. Anti-vaxxer.
They don't even understand, like you said.
All you motherfuckers that came at me, Enemy, all these magazines, Rolling Stone, all you motherfuckers that did hit pieces on me. Let's circle back. The only one that did was Lamb Goat, and I did an interview. And you know what they said? Why are you giving that motherfucker a platform to speak? See, now they're into censorship. You know, they want everybody to be censored because, you know, whatever it is, it is. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if I never fucking play another show again as long as I live. I know I fucking spoke up. And all the records I put out and the lyrics I wrote, I actually fucking stand behind them. Where's any other hardcore fucking band that spoke up during that? Name one. Name one that had a platform of what I had with the Cro-Mags. Any of the top bands in hardcore. Name me one band that called out that shit. None of them did. That's on them. That's not on me. I'm going out on my fucking shield, not on my knees. End of fucking story. Yeah, and I didn't change, they did.
Yeah, they didn't want to lose those paychecks. They're scared to lose that money because it was coming from
I had bands writing me, dude, I agree with you 100%. I just don't want to get canceled. I said, well, then you're worse than the fucking people drinking the Kool-Aid because you know this shit's fucked up, but you don't have the courage to stand up. So everybody that got to stand there with their dicks in the fucking wind alone because you motherfuckers won't come together. Where's all the unity shit you preached?
Right.
It's all cosplay, man. I don't give a fuck. You can hate all you want. I ain't going nowhere. I'm still here. I'm still making music. I don't care if 10 people come to my show. Those 10 motherfuckers are all about it. And I come from the scene when there would be 10 people at a show. It's not quantity, it's quality.
Yeah.
You know? I don't need all these motherfuckers. You want to hate the fuck away. You're hating because you drank the Kool-Aid. Sorry, but that's on you. You know?
And now we got AI where people don't even know what's real and what's not anymore. You know, people putting out AI videos.
Look at all the AI data centers being built. They're surveillance centers. They're putting in the grid for the digit. This punk rock book, I fucking bring up a lot of shit, dude. It's not just, it's a memoir. So it's everything I've seen from 77 or, you know, all the way through everything that I've seen go down. It's a memoir. It's my experience, what I witnessed and what I'm seeing go down now. And COVID was just a test run to see how far they could fucking push people. And nobody stood up. You think they're going to stop? They're bullies. They're going to roll over everybody with the next fucking thing. Oh, we're one false flag away from fucking digital gulag in America.
Yeah.
And people are so stupid, they don't even see what's coming.
It's already in China with the digital
China for what they did during COVID. Really? They fucking welded people into their apartments and dragged them off the fucking street. You're down with that? I'm not down with that. I'm down with free fucking speech, baby, and living free and all the rest of the good shit, you know?
they have the social credit score and stuff. That's the digital.
Coming here, bro. Look what they did. How they killed my first account with 150,000 people on it. And you know who kept reporting my page? Hardcore people. When Joe gave me a shout out when my page got killed, within like 2 weeks, I had 30,000 people again. You know what? My friend sent me a screenshot. He's like, yo, look what these dudes are saying. And it was like, yo, his page got a lot of people again. Keep reporting every one of his posts. That's hardcore. That's the hardcore fucking punk scene. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's why I say I never changed. I stayed the same. I'm making music. I don't care because like I was there since the beginning of hardcore. I was there for punk rock in the 70s. I saw the birth of fucking hardcore. I was participating in it. So like I took the shit as like to whatever umpteenth fucking level. And I never sold out. I never did shit for money. I always put my heart and soul 100%. I'd be out on the road running fucking 10 miles in the morning, training for fucking Ironmans on the road. Every time I stepped on stage, I left every fucking ounce of my shit on stage. Like I never fucking did shit for the money. I always put my heart and soul. And that's the way, if this is the end of my whole shit, I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. It's not a popularity contest. I'm not in it for the likes and the followers. I don't care. Even now, I got 115,000 on my page fucking that are like, yo, we fucking support everything. I'm glad you fucking stood up. You're one of the few in the fucking scene and all the rest of the shit. And I'm like, what can I say, man? I have other avenues to express myself through film and fucking, you know, live shows, stand up, whatever the fuck, you know. So I really and I'm doing music too. You know, Will Shepler, the drummer that was with AF, said like last year, he's like, yo, I fucking just heard the Souls record. I can't fucking believe this shit. It's fucking great. What? How come yeah, because they hit up all the distributors and the label and said, if you fucking carry this record, we're going to boycott you for speaking up against what the government was doing.
I'm nowhere near as big. My YouTube channel was demonetized a few years ago during that time, you know, and that small channel. They even hit people with small channels like crazy.
Dude, they went after everybody. The woman just came on, the fucking CEO of YouTube, and said, yeah, we zapped fucking thousands and thousands. Anybody who talked against what the government was doing during COVID, we got rid of their account. Like the censorship
on government order. Right?
Yeah,
like, not just like, oh, we're gonna do this on our own. Like the government made them.
Yeah, they stepped in and they were like, take these motherfuckers. It was what was discussed in Event 201. Control the narrative completely. And the first thing they said was, with all these other platforms besides the mainstream media news, it's very dangerous that we let these people have a voice. You know, and many of those people were the voice of reason. The Dr. Peter McCullers, all these other doctors that were speaking out against what they were doing. And, you know, and all the so-called conspiracy theorists, you know, theories turned out to be true. It's really wild. And if you don't want to accept it because you hate me, then that's on you. But if I was you, I'd be looking how to get the spike protein out of my system instead of writing bullshit about me on social media, because 5 to 7 years, they said we're going to see massive side effects of them shots. And we just hit 5 years, and now look what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody could fucking deny what the fuck is going on right now unless you're a fucking, you're so fucking brain dead and brainwashed that you don't want to accept it, or your ego is so out of control that you won't accept it. You know, it's like I never changed my position on life or helping people or whatever. And, you know, I tried to, you know, I'm a New Yorker though. If you come at me and I'm not just a New Yorker, I'm a motherfucker that, you know, you're going to cancel me on social media. Whoop-de-fucking do. I had people try to cancel me in real life. I have people try to fucking murder me. Get in line, Schmedrick. You ain't shit. You keep talking all your shit. I don't give a fuck. They thought I was just going to fold and have a nervous breakdown. I'm like, fuck you, motherfuckers. Let's go. And that's just Because when I'm right, I'm not going to fucking back down. Even when I discovered all the corruption in the Hare Krishna movement, I spoke out. Everybody hates me for that. I'm just like, I don't really care. Why are you letting this guy come on? Why not? Why can't we? What, you still going to believe the shit that you were told? Like, what do you live under a rock? You don't see what's going on right now with people's health? It's like, it's absurd.
Well, they got us trapped, because there's a lot of poverty, and people who aren't in poverty are having to work 50, 60 hours to just be somewhat middle class and whatnot. So they don't even have time to really think and critically think.
Society. That's what people don't realize. It's the new serf society.
Yep.
They're making all these rules when they go to the World Economic Forum meeting in Davos. Rules for thee, not for me. They want us to fucking eat bugs and fucking not travel and live in fucking 15-minute cities. They're traveling on private jets, eating whatever the fuck they want, partying. Look what they did during COVID. They locked all of us down. You weren't allowed to see dying relatives, but they were going to parties and dinners, and Nancy Pelosi was getting her fucking hair done at salons, and they did whatever the fuck they wanted. And the guys in England had going to fucking parties and shit.
And then it comes out Epstein Island. We got all that that's going,
See that, the timing on that shit too.
Mm-hmm.
The Epstein and my friend's 2 daughters in New York City got caught up in that shit in the ballet school and disappeared for 5 years. So I got skin in that fucking game too. And
that's all the same people, it's Bill Gates and all.
He got caught, and the whole shit came out, and it was this huge story. All of a sudden, COVID became the big narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And the same people who were going to the island, Bill Gates and all of them, was involved in it. And they were all these fucking, I don't even call them elites. They're fucking dirtbags. They're not elite. Elite,
little hats.
An elite athlete or a spiritually elite person. These are the worst fucking subhuman motherfuckers on the face of the earth, what they were doing to these kids. And the files were there, and then Trump gets into office. Oh, it's a left-wing conspiracy theory. Yeah, protect your homies, bro. And it's like, I really don't care. Like, that's why I'm down here. We're looking to get a self-sufficient farm. You think they're done with this shit, man? No. They're gonna lock this motherfucker down.
So you mentioned it, the World Econ Forum.
A fucking EM, whatever that is, electric magnetic pulse, shut down everything. Klaus Schwab was like, the frightening scenario. COVID looked like a minor inconvenience if the grid goes down.
Yeah.
And they got shit planned, dude. These motherfuckers planned this shit out. 9/11, people still believe that bullshit. I was in New York City. I talked to the firefighters that said explosions were going off in the basements of the fucking buildings.
Damn.
And when you got everybody on a list, you could control whoever the fuck you want. Yeah. All of that shit was a Mossad CIA operation to blackmail people. That's what all of that shit is. They got these motherfuckers doing horrible shit to children, and it's like, oh yeah, you think you're gonna fucking speak up against? How about we release that video footage and see what the fuck happens to you? They filmed all these people doing that shit, man.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like, listen, I stuck by the ethos of punk rock, man. Question authority, number one. And I did. And I still do. And now I'm just like, you know what? You can have all your bullshit. I'm going to be over here doing this with these amazing people growing food. And it's really going to come down to that because they're destroying the fucking planet.
Mm-hmm.
And like all those fires the last year, whatever, they proved it was arson. They want to push their global warming. They're pushing global warming while they fucking eat whatever they want, fly on private jets, all this bullshit. They don't like buying mansions. Oh yeah, we're gonna be underwater. Oh yeah, nice beachfront property there, Obama. It's all bullshit, dude. They just want to do whatever they can to control humanity and take all the resources for themselves. There's too many people on the planet. I just drove all over the country. The whole fucking middle of this country is empty.
Yeah.
There's no fucking overpopulation. That's another fucking myth. They're eugenics people. They just want to control who the fuck is able to have kids. That's why they're putting the epicite in the fucking shit that kills fucking sperm and all this shit in the food. And the vaccine, the spike protein goes in the testes of the men and covers the fucking sperm with it and fucks up women's, 89% of the women that took the vaccine during the trial lost their babies. They fucking created that shit is like fucking, it's like population control shot.
They're trying to take men out in general. White men and black men at the moment are the most demonized people.
They don't want testosterone fucking dudes. They want motherfuckers that's gonna be easy to control and like, fucking
easy to manipulate and easy to kill.
Control, let them have their agendas, whatever it is, but they're digging their own fucking grave. That's what these people don't understand, and that's on them. I'm tired of like saying shit to anybody that doesn't want to hear it. I say what I gotta say, and I'm like, here's a solution. Here's the solutions to what they're doing. Disconnect from the matrix, man. They got you. Red pill your motherfucking self and snap the fuck out of it. Or don't. Take the blue pill and stay asleep. Watch the media. Believe what they tell you. It's up to you, really. But for me, like I said, I'm out next year will be 50 years I'm involved in punk and all this shit. And I'm like, I never sold out. I never backed down.
Well, it's all genres of music too. I mean, you've seen a big swing in hip hop to where the snitches, it used to be snitches get stitches, and now they're glorifying snitching.
Well, you know what else? They dumbed it down because I was there. I worked at all the underground clubs in New York City. And here's my dog. And what they did was they anything that had a socially conscious message, they didn't push. People have said that they infiltrated hip hop and started pushing the gangster culture and the drug culture and the sex culture, and they just dumbed that shit down.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they did that. They did the same thing with other genres of music too that had something to say, like hardcore, really. Punk, I was there. I saw what the culture was. I was there. Everybody was a fucking junkie in the 70s. Everybody was doing fucking drugs. It was a different thing. Hardcore, when it started in the 80s, started being about something, and people were talking about like shit that was important, not just like dumbed down bullshit. And I really think that infiltrators came in the fucking scene and were like, tried to dilute the message and fucking just all the crazy shit. Like, I honestly thought when COVID hit, I would look behind me and there would be a fucking army. I looked behind me and there was like fucking 2 people. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Where is everybody? But what does that say? Everything these motherfuckers preached for years, now all of a sudden it's just like that shit don't matter no more. But they do it everywhere, man. Their job is to dumb fucking humanity down, dude. They do it. They tell you to take drugs and alcohol and fucking watch stupid fucking shit on TV and all this stupid shit and argue amongst each other over politics, left wing, right wing. It's 2 wings of the same bird. And I say it's a vulture at this point picking the carcass of a dying America. And it's happening right in real time in front of us. These motherfuckers, it's like the WWE. They act like they don't like each other. Then they go fucking have drinks and laugh about how they pull the wool over everybody's eyes.
And sacrifice babies to Moloch.
Yeah, exactly. You know what the fuck time it is, man. All that shit, you think like all that shit. Like, I talked to the detectives that saw that fucking Anthony Weiner laptop, dude. And the shit that was on there, that in the file that said insurance, was some wild shit, dude. Wild shit. It made seasoned homicide detectives vomit and cry. And I think 9 detectives supposedly committed suicide that saw that computer.
Yeah, but wait.
And took it.
Wait, Hillary Clinton suicide.
Hillary Clinton, it was whatever her name is, was married to Anthony Weiner. And he got the computer, he got the file called insurance. And it was like crazy shit on that fucking computer. And they want to make you think it's all wild shit and like, oh yeah, we eat babies. Yeah, you do drink adrenochrome. You people are fucking crazy, man. You people are fucking demonic. That's why I wrote the song that's on Best Wishes, Crush the Demoniac. They fucking dude. These people, they're like, you know, they're from like subhuman fucking worlds and came here to create havoc and destruction and do crazy shit. You know, because I read the Vedas too, just to end it on a spiritual note, and everything that they said they predicted of Kali Yuga, it's starting to happen. You know, like the Iron Age of Quarrel and Hypocrisy. Where do you think I got the name of the album from? From the Bhagavatam from India when I was a monk. I named that album. I injected all the lyrics. We always had the street. We didn't lose that, but we just added some real knowledge to the mix, you know? So, you know, everybody could judge for themselves, and you know, I don't care either way. You know, at this point, who's ever you know awake is awake. Whoever wants to stay asleep, they're gonna. If you ain't awake at this point, you ain't never waking up. Sweet dreams, you know, sweet fucking dreams. That's what I tell you. You're caught up in the Matrix, man.
Yeah.
Because like after what they just pulled, and just everything leading up to this, what they did after 9/11, the Patriot Act, they're allowed to spy, Obama, yeah, we can lie to you through the media. All the shit, dude. It's just like they're all in on it, you know?
Yeah, if you don't see it now, forget about
You're
it.
never going to see it.
Nope.
And where's the rebels? Where's the fucking people? You know, they're there, but it's, you know, it's not like ones we thought were going to stand up didn't fucking stand up. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is.
Well, like, there's no way that they released the files and then everybody just went to work the next day. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, that shit is just kind of crazy to me. Like,
yeah,
is this the Truman Show, bro? Like, what are we talking about?
Where's the riots in the fucking street?
Yeah, like, what the fuck are we talking about? But Black Lives Matter, we're burning shit down, right?
Fucking marching on these people's houses, like, fuck you, you did all this. Where's demanding justice for what they did during COVID?
Mm-hmm.
Like, look what they did. Look what the fuck
because these protests don't happen organically. They're funded, right?
They're funded by fucking Soros and the NGOs and all they're all involved. You know, I got called fucking all kinds of names because I was like, wait a minute, you're letting all these people come across the border and they don't have to be vaccinated, but I'm losing all my rights because I didn't take it. Like, make that make sense. And they got a phobic this, that, whatever the fuck. They got a name for everything now.
Yes, it's all division, right?
That's what it is. It's that you can't question sanity and like, how are you letting a dude that murdered 10 people in a gang in Mexico into this country? And it's just like, you know.
But then the family running away from people like that can't get in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh no, you guys got to go back.
Worst. Venezuela emptied their nut houses and their prisons and sent them to the border. They admitted that they did.
Yep.
Mexico sent crazy motherfuckers. All these countries sent. They didn't send scientists and doctors. That's the whole joke. Where, you know, it was fucking like
we used to get the best and brightest, right? Immigration used to be the best and brightest because it used to be the American dream.
Listen. The American dream is you can come here and have a fucking great life and this shit. But if you commit a fucking crime, if I commit a crime in another country, I'm getting deported. I'm never allowed back in that country again.
Yep.
Like, how is motherfuckers committing all these crimes and raping people and doing all this crazy shit, and then like this guy just released all these dudes from Rikers Island and refused to have them deported. And they were fucked up gang, like 5,000 of them. Fucked up gang members that did fucked up shit and criminals. And they were supposed to get deported and they just released them back into the city because they want chaos.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do against, don't even tell me. I work with hardworking people, I see them that come from other countries and they do the right thing. I got no problem with them, but the motherfuckers that's stabbing people and doing all this crazy shit and what's going on in the UK, all the fucking rapes of the women that's gone on, 18,000. It's like, it's just insane what they're doing, and it's to destabilize nations so that they can come in with their one world government, and that's what they want to do. That's why they're pressing now. Oh, you have to show ID to get on the internet in the UK now.
Uh-huh.
They slowly, I use the analogy, they take one link off the chain of the dog, little by little by little by little, and eventually the dog is fucking pressed up against the fucking wall and can't move. And that's what they're doing. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. It was more like 3-4 years to flatten your fucking life when everything was said and done.
Yeah.
Is the curve even flattened? You still got people wearing masks and shit right now. You fucked up so many people. Like, think about that too, is like psychologically, how many people did these people fuck up?
Yeah, but here's the other thing which I stated. Do you know how many people had to go on antidepressant and fucking anti-anxiety meds? You didn't think they figured that into their bottom line? These scumbags at the drug, we're going to lock them all down. We're going to isolate them. We're going to pump the fear, and they're going to need pharmaceutical prescriptions for depression and anxiety. They made hundreds and hundreds and billions of dollars off of those meds too.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how many people are still taking them fucking things? Because once you get on them, you don't get off them. It's a fucking, it's a ride from hell. You don't get off.
Yeah,
all of this shit was a scam.
Yeah.
They weren't out to protect anybody. If you were, how come the governors ordered nursing homes to take in COVID patients, resulting in tens and thousands of elderly deaths? Fucking my friend's great aunt from Ireland died in a nursing home because of that. Like you weren't out to fucking protect anybody.
No.
It's all bullshit. They needed to just lock everything down, and what they were able to get away with, we've never seen anything like it. I haven't in my 64 years on this earth. I've never seen anything like what they did. Global lockstep with all the media, locking countries down, restricting travel. They can do that again.
Yeah.
They can do that again. I think they were surprised at how easy everybody folded. Yeah. And then they made everybody look like a crazy conspiracy theorist, anti-vaxxer. And they're still, you posted up my shit and they're on there like, why are you letting this anti-vaxxer on? Sorry, I didn't know you were getting cut checks from Pfizer and Moderna. You know,
well, even if you take COVID out and you look back a little further to the Oxy and Roxy epidemic, it's the same companies that put all that synthetic heroin out.
Was fucking put that shit out. They didn't even go to jail. They got off. They paid pennies on the fucking dollar for the fucking destruction that they caused in this fucking country with that shit. All those pill fucking mills that went.
They were everywhere.
West Virginia, everywhere, dude. They killed
East Tennessee. It was nasty.
Millions of fucking people with them pills, man. And it's, my brother was hooked on them too, man. The VA was giving him them shits like they were Pez fucking candies, like. Oh,
yeah. You could go to any of those pill mills and they'd write you scripts for 500, 600 Oxycontins, a bunch of Xanax, all that. And then you could go to the next one, the next town over and get a whole nother prescription of them. And then the next town over,
I made notes today, and here's what it said. And I said, a country run by banks will always be in debt. Healthcare run by big pharma will never cure disease. A state run by war will never know peace. A nation run by media will never know the truth. Guys, if you don't like somebody, take it out of the equation. Don't look at the messenger and try to shoot the messenger. You don't like me? Cool. I don't give a fuck. Don't like me. Take me out of the equation and look what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you can't still be defending what they did. If you are, you're fucking brain dead. There's no help. Go take another blue pill and stay asleep. Just like start questioning these motherfuckers, man. That's what punk rock was about. Question authority. I never trusted anybody. You know, after what happened to me as a kid, I just remained a fucking skeptic of everything. I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm not accepting that. Let's see the proof.
Yeah.
Demand the proof. Fauci, the science is settled. How is the science settled? You did the same shit during AIDS with the AZT. People don't know that Spin Magazine did a hit piece on Fauci during AIDS, what he did. He did the same shit. He blocked the Dallas Buyers Club. That was him in the movie that was blocking the alternative treatments. And most of the people early on died from the AZT, not from AIDS. And then he experimented on black and brown kids in the orphanages all over New York. He experimented on them like Bill Gates does, and fucking hurt thousands of fucking kids and killed kids.
Yeah, Bill Gates was banned from India for that, from my understanding.
Well, look at the book that came out. Whether you like RFK or not, like he put out the fucking real Anthony Fauci and Bill Gates book. They never sued him for libel, right? You know, Bill Gates is like, oh yeah, they wrote this book. You didn't sue because everything in the book was sourced and fact checked, and it was true what you motherfuckers did in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And Klaus Schwab coming out with the COVID-19, the Great Reset in the first year of COVID. What is that?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? Things are never going back to the way they were. They said all the messaging. Yeah. They're telling you where they're leading everybody, and you're just fucking being led like a fucking lamb to the slaughter, man.
Yeah, and they've got a website, the World Econ Forum website. And if you scroll down to the bottom of that page, there's a partners list, and you can go through that partners list, and it is all the big companies, Google, IBM, it's everybody.
They're controlling the whole fucking shit, dude. They got it sewn up, you know? All the fucking technology, the fucking... Look at this guy from Palantir. He's a fucking whack job. That's who you... like, he's fucking crazy looking, and you want him to have all your information? Fucking nah, man.
I don't want anybody to have my information.
Well, they got it, you know.
Especially not that creepy motherfucker.
You know, like, the only way is going to be fucking kill all these things, disconnect from the internet, go live your life, get off the grid, solar power, have a fresh water source, and fucking grow your own food and live a fucking simple life connected to the earth. And I chant Hare Krishna still. That's simple living and high thinking, man. That's what it's all about. And, you know, I'm glad that I got to go through punk rock and hardcore and all the rest of the shit and see reggae bands and fucking the early hip hop shit. I got to see the best shit ever. So, like, I experienced all that. I feel bad for these fucking kids now that, like, you know, they're just like, I don't know, man. They're programmed by all of this shit, dude. It's like wild because we never had that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had conversations. It wasn't like you talk to these people and they come out their face. They don't even know how to have a normal fucking talk with somebody because it's like this is how they communicate. And I'm like, what are you, like, how the fuck are you coming out of your face like that? You're not talking on a fucking meme, motherfucker. You better watch your P's and Q's. Like, I gotta fucking put some of these motherfuckers in check sometimes. And I'm like, yo, like, you know, watch yourself, kid. You know, because you're gonna get fucking checked soon.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I think there's still a lot of kids. I've seen a lot of bands and these kids are speaking up and like they're saying shit that matters. And, you know, just even with the music scene, like Live Nation controls everything. Look at the trials. They had all these guys laughing at everybody that they're ripping them off for the fees on Ticketmaster and all the rest of the shit. They just mock everybody, dude. And that's why I like the DIY spirit of, like, you know, of what the early punk scene and the hardcore scene was. We don't need none of that. We just did our own shows. And I like that they do all these, what is it, Dead City Punks, the documentaries coming out, like with Zach from Rage or whatever the fuck that shit is called, where they just did these big punk shows. And like, I remember I organized that show at Tompkins Square Park during the lockdowns. Look at the hate I got for that.
Oh yeah.
You know, and 3 days later they opened up the city. But
The fuck was the difference in 3 days, bro?
that's what I'm saying. But it was just another reason for them to hate, you know, and make up lies. And we did that show. 3,500 people came out, and who were the biggest haters around the world? The punks and the hardcore people. Super spreader. Fuck anyone that was involved in that. Like, yo, we don't need the government's permission to tell us when it's cool to be punk rock. We took it upon ourselves, and we did that fucking show. And everybody had a great time, and then all the hate started coming on. Even the media jumped on board. They did, like, whatever those shows are, not Entertainment Tonight, but those like shows that are on
the late night shows and all that.
Like, well, one of them did, but I'm saying like Extra or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
TMZ. They all started flagging us, you know.
Thanks for the promo.
Yeah, I mean, like, whatever, you know.
Yeah, like just let. I just. When did it become about like? When did it become about pleasing the man and not fuck the man?
Yeah, fuck the man. What happened to all that? Now it's like lick the balls of the man. Like,
yeah, like not even the boots, straight up his nuts.
Yeah, lick it. You know, like, you know, I like one time I did this ride and it was like 2019. I train, I ride out to the beach. I would fucking ride 80 miles, go out to Long Island, come back through Rockaway to Brooklyn. So I stop on the boardwalk and there's this cop that used to go to all the hardcore shows. And he's like, hey, man, what's up? I was like, oh, shit. You know, I knew he was a cop. He's a cool guy, you know, tattooed and shit. He's like, yo, can I grab a picture with you? And I was like, fuck yeah. So he tagged me in it. I posted it. And then all the comments, oh, you fucking bootlicker, all this shit, right? A year later, I'm like, yeah. You called me a bootlicker, but you was deep throating the fucking government. Choking on that shit. You didn't lick the boots. You fucking deep throated them motherfuckers. So shut the fuck up. You know, I just think like they all got together so hard and came at me that they thought I was gonna fold. But I ain't that guy. You got the wrong motherfucker. Like, you should have read my memoir and knowing all the shit I've been through in my life. I'm not gonna fucking I'm not gonna give up because I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'll be like, hey, and that's the thing. If I make a mistake, I go, hey, sorry, I was wrong. These motherfuckers, they don't do that. They're like, move on. Why are you still talking about that? Let's get on to the next issue. Mm-hmm. We hate Trump. Good for you. You know, I never supported him. I called him out on all the shit he did. Even in his first administration, my friend told me tonight, they said, you're the Donald Trump of hardcore. I was like, I think that's hilarious because it just shows how stupid these motherfuckers are. I never supported him. I called him out on all his shit. And, you know, it is what it is. I never voted in my life. Never voted for any politician in my entire life. I remember going to a festival in like 2018. And it was like when Obama was running or whatever the fuck it was. And there was voting registration tables at punk rock shows to vote for Obama. I was like, what the fuck is this? Politics is the way we change things. Oh, yeah, hope and change. How'd that work out for you? How did Build Back Better work out for you? How is Make America Great Again working out for you? Who's
punk rock politicians is fucking
benefiting
crazy.
off of all this shit? It ain't you. Yeah. You're paying more for everything.
Yeah.
You're getting less for your dollar. The surveillance, everything is what's going on in the UK is coming here, man. They're gonna start locking motherfuckers up for saying shit. You're not allowed to talk about a certain country over in the Middle East that's doing crazy fucking shit. Like,
the
what
little hats?
Is that? What kind of shit is that?
Nah, fuck those guys. On this show, we say fuck those guys.
I'm not criticizing anybody's religion. I'm calling out the politicians That's like I called out George Bush. What is he? What was he? Fucking Presbyterian? So I'm anti-Presbyterian? No, these are fucking criminal politicians that are doing this crazy shit. And if you support them, then that's on you. You know, USA, USA, USA.
There's a little crossover because they're all doing it for Moloch, but I agree with you in a sense, right?
Yeah, like they're all like fucking. We gotta fight them over there, or we're gonna fight them here, or smoke them out of their holes, like all that dumb shit. These motherfuckers, like, I'm like, how could you fucking be that dumb to support that shit? And then you're drinking the Kool-Aid, everything Trump said, everything he fucking ran on, he lied. And people are still, and just like if you called out the last administration, you were a right-wing conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
If you call this guy out, they say you have Trump derangement syndrome. Like they all got their little shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're lies, but
that little phrase. Just like if you call out Israel, you're anti-Semitic, right? Like it's the same.
But you're not.
I'm not. Well, I mean, I might be, but you're not for calling out. You're not for calling out Israel.
What a government is doing.
Yeah, no.
Like,
that's not anti-Semitic
children,
for sure.
Come on, man. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Bibi asked me for things I didn't even know what they were, but I got them to him and he used them very well. And then you see what the fuck they did with them weapons, dude. Fuck that. I'm not down with that. No. I'm not fucking down with that. That's nobody defending themselves. That's fucking, they're just fucking out of control.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree, bro.
And I'll leave it at that, but I don't support any governments and what the fuck they do around the world, man. You know?
No, well, that's the truth. Though, right? Like, they're all fucking crooks.
They all got in lockstep during that shit that went down in 2020.
Yeah,
hey, bro, they've been in lockstep way before that, bro. You know, you heard about the Antarctic Treaty?
The which?
The Antarctic Treaty.
I did hear something about that. Yeah.
Every single country in the world has a treaty together on Antarctica, and nobody's allowed to go there.
Yeah.
All these wars, all this shit, it's all fucking pseudo, all to control us, like the fucking Truman Show.
Yeah. Dude, they've created such an illusion for everybody. Like the Vedas calls it Maya, you know, illusion. And that's... The Matrix had a lot of philosophical shit in it. It was a lot of predictive programming and letting motherfuckers know. Like they do that shit. They let you know what's gonna happen so that you don't, you know, it's like, oh, I saw that in the movie. Yeah, you did, because they wrote the script and they did the actions, you know.
So they desensitize you to it. They want to desensitize you before.
How can you be desensitized? Like that's why they put all the violence in the video games and everything. People are just like so desensitized to what is going on, to everything. I'm like, how could you see children be murdered and you're just like, oh, okay, let me go get that fucking my food delivery at the door.
Shit.
What's the company that delivers?
DoorDash.
Let me get my DoorDash. Hey, you know, I got in. Somebody says, oh yeah, we should just level the fucking place to about. I'm like, dude, America was the ones who initially, and the UK destabilized Iran, like for the oil. It was BP, and we destabilized that whole fucking country. That led to like these radicals getting in there, and like we've done this shit everywhere, man. We Hillary Clinton with the coup in Venezuela. Look what we did in fucking in Haiti. Just everything. We're the most despicable country with what we do to other countries, and we act like we're the good guys. Like, you know, and a lot of my boys did multiple tours, and they're like, bro, everything. They had us over there protecting poppy fields for the CIA in fucking Afghanistan. Dudes was sending me photos. Yo, look what I'm doing today. He's like, yo, delete that photo. Special Forces guy standing in a field of poppies, like, yeah, we're here to protect the shit. What do you think George Bush did the cocaine shit, dude, with Bill Clinton? They were bringing all that coke to fund that war.
Mm-hmm.
And then fucking it led to the crack fucking shit and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And then they invested in the prisons and they gave out fucking insane sentences for one little rock of crack. And it's all money.
Mm-hmm.
It's all money.
Yeah.
And this whole, big pharma, even in this book, I talk about the history of the whole shit, about John D. Rockefeller, how he changed the whole system of medicine to petroleum-based drugs because he was a petroleum man. And he called natural remedies that have worked for hundreds of fucking years, he labeled as quackery and started locking up doctors, taking their medical license, putting them in jail. Crazy shit John D. Rockefeller did, man.
Mm-hmm.
When those drugs started giving people cancer, he founded the American Cancer Society to control the narrative. This is the kind of shit that I talk in this fucking book. And it's also got, recipes in there and like fact-based shit on what's going on with everybody's health. That's
So
my website.
where can we find that book?
JohnJosephDiscipline.com is where I sell these two books. And, like if you're looking to get clean, you have, the first half of this book is our family story with addiction. And then the back of it is everything I do on a daily basis and my whole method for staying clean. So that's a good, two good books, JohnJosephDiscipline.com. I coach people. I just, I live like, that was the whole thing. I'm like, I live a holistic life, and I got some dude with a bag of fucking McDonald's telling me what I got to take to protect him. I never forget the most surreal shit, and I'm going to tell you, it was like 2020 in the heat of the pandemic, and it was like July or June. It was like cooking in New York, like 80, 90 degrees. This guy comes out of McDonald's with a complete hazmat suit, like something you saw when Ebola hit, with a little fan in the back, a box that was providing him fucking oxygen. Like literally everything, gloves taped up, all this shit, boots, everything with the tape to seal it off. And he goes, and he walks by me with a bag of McDonald's and goes, "Where's your mask, asshole?"
My goodness. Bro, the McDonald's has been exposed.
Yeah.
Yo, you're worried about me. What's in that bag is going to kill you quicker than any fucking COVID.
Yeah.
But anyway, listen, like I said, there's more to come on the whole shit. And, I got this book coming out. I'm just finished, like it's being edited now. And it's all about, punk rock and the amazing times, but just everything, even the story of the Cro-Mags, because that whole Webster Hall shit that motherfucker says that's all fucking lies. He was never invited to the show. He was told not to come. He snuck in with a knife using the laminate. That whole Webster Hall shit is nothing but a fucking lie. So I even covered what went down in the Cro-Mags. Yeah, I quit right before Best Wishes. Why? Because he stole all the money off the tour. He stole all the money in '91 off the tour. He stole the money out of the Century Media record deal, bank account. It ratted me out to the military, and to the government. Tried to put me in federal prison. Snitched on me about all kinds of shit. So I'm like, I have to do a chapter on the Cro-Mags just because, it's a memoir. It's the shit I went through with that band, and
Could you not?
and also
It's your story. You can tell it anytime you want.
Yeah, because nobody knows. My Evolution of a Cro-Magnon came out fucking over 20 years ago. This dude hit me yesterday. He's like, he's a BMX racer, dude. Cool dude, all fucking tatted up, diesel. He's like, yo, I just saw that fucking thing and what he's saying about Webster Hall. You set him up. And I was like, dude, that's complete fucking bullshit. None of that happened. Like, And then I started telling him all the shit that happened that led up to that. He's like, whoa, I never knew he did all that. I was like, yeah, because I don't go online. I don't go fucking talking about it. But if you're going to slag me, then whatever. But, I don't focus just on the negative. I just tell the story as it is. There was great moments in the Cro-Mags too. And same thing working with the Bad Brains, or, just, all the things that I've seen in punk and hardcore, the amazing times, and, how business infiltrated the scene and it became a commodity. And I think that destroyed a lot of that DIY spirit that we had back in the day, man. It was like, it was phenomenal because we didn't get censored. We could say whatever the fuck we want. I didn't have a record company saying, no, you can't really put those lyrics on your record or whatever the fuck. Or, if you say this, Live Nation's not going to book you. So, you have to watch what you say. Fuck that. We don't have to watch nothing. We should be able to say whatever the fuck we want. That's fucking free speech. That's punk rock. And that's what I've lived by. I'm not going to bite my tongue for fucking anybody, man. Oh, man. And honestly, when COVID hit, I had people, good friends of mine, say, listen, man, just fucking keep quiet. You worked so hard on your platform and your whole brand over these years with your books and everything you're doing. Just fucking, I was like, my brand is speaking up. Have you read any of my fucking lyrics for the last fucking 40-something years? It's what I write about. That's why we canceled that fucking European tour, because the agent was like, look, man, just, make a statement, an apology. I was like, I'm not apologizing for shit. I said, you know what, dude? For you to even be saying that, to keep quiet, you're trying to censor me, cancel the fucking tour. I canceled that tour. I'm not working for anybody that's trying to tell me I got to keep quiet and don't talk about corruption.
Exactly.
When the fuck did anybody ever do shit like that years ago? Now you have to be quiet. This people still won't talk about it. I asked people to give me quotes for the back of this book, and a lot of people turned me down.
Weak knees.
Well, they just
they don't want to piss off their bosses.
Well, they're also like, yeah, you kind of still got a target on you there, buddy. I can't publicly show any unity with you. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't give a fuck. That's the whole thing. I grew up in the foster homes, but I grew up in the streets by myself. I was in lockup by myself. I don't care who's in my camp and who ain't. I'm gonna say what I gotta say, and if it gels with you, fine. If not, keep it moving. What am I supposed to say? Oh, please like me. I'm gonna issue I'm so sorry for what I said. No, I'm not. I'm glad I said what I said.
And I'll say it again.
And I will say it again. And I say this. All these bands, and you know who they are, that put out all these records over the years, where were they during COVID? Why didn't any of them speak up? Punk bands, hardcore bands, metal. You have motherfuckers with Corey Taylor, perfect example. Fucking Mask and Scary. And then he says, because he took all the shots, and then he says, some scumbag anti-vaxxer snuck into my show and gave me COVID. I was like, slip and fall on your fucking brain. You took all those shots and still got COVID, and they told you were protected. So who's that? This is the type of shit we all had to deal with, though.
But how does he know it's an anti-vaxxer?
That's what he said. He honestly, and look at Jello Biafra. He posted a picture of an open drawer at a morgue in 2021 and said, anybody that doesn't take the vaccine, that's where you deserve to be. This is a guy that wrote a song called Government Flu.
Yeah.
And you need to watch, because karma does not lose an address. When you wish harm on people, you know, he just had a stroke.
He had a stroke. Yeah, he's just barely, he's just coming back now from that.
Yeah. And what is one of the side effects of the shots? It's in the Pfizer fucking trial data. Strokes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but he didn't get it from that. Yeah, okay, we know that.
Yeah.
And all these little kids that are getting fucking cancers that 70-year-olds get, it's not from the shots either. It's everything but the shots. Doing all this shit right now. And, you know, I just say, like, for my, like, this, see, for me, it wasn't just about being punk rock. I put out books on health and government corruption within the CDC, FDA. So it was natural for me to be like, I'm going to call this shit out. It's not my first rodeo. People that think I suddenly turned into this person, like, I've been talking about this shit for decades. I heard about Codex Alimentarius in 1981, how the pharmaceutical companies would try to take over all health. They tried to pass that shit in 81. I know Dr. Labo, who did the YouTube video, that they were gonna create a virus, release it, and get everybody to take a poison vaccine that's gonna kill millions of people. She said that to Jesse Ventura. And I watched her video before she ever said that. 20-something years ago, she predicted that they were going to pull this shit. And she talked about Codex Alimentarius. Dr. Laibo, Laibow, go watch what she says about Codex. Because that's what we're seeing happening right now.
Yeah.
And I even wrote about it in my book, Meetings for Pussies. I did a whole thing on Codex. So for anybody to think I was going to do anything other than what I did, is they're fucking absolute fools.
Well,
because, you know what we say in the streets in New York? Don't talk about it, be about it. You know? Take action, motherfuckers. That's what it all comes down to. It's too many armchair philosophers and shit. They don't get out there and fucking do the work. I'm a working motherfucker. I'm up. You ain't out hustling me. I get up before fucking dawn and I'm fucking grinding off. I'm doing a fucking interview with you guys at 12 o'clock at fucking night. You know what time I got up today? 4:30. Going all fucking day. That's what I do.
We appreciate that too.
I'm saying,
Yeah,
my energy goes towards good shit, you know?
Absolutely.
My energy goes toward, I'm not making the statements I make and the decisions I make through a fucking beer goggles. I'm clean and sober. I've studied this shit for decades. I've watched it happen in real time. That's why I'm telling everybody, it's that chain being removed off one link at a time. You had the Patriot Act, 9/11. They just keep taking your rights away.
yeah.
And increasing the surveillance and what they're doing. And like I said, we're one false flag away from the digital fucking gulag that they're fucking putting. These are not aid. These are surveillance centers that they're putting in. Many of them are being listed as military operations, so the public can't stop them.
Mm.
There's one going on close to here, and they kind of, I think they've shut it down, at least for temporarily, from happening. But I'm sure that in the end, they're going to get steamrolled and it'll go up anyways.
Of course they are. They're going to put it up. And that's why they're setting all the infrastructure in place so that when whatever happens, and then they can say, we need to know who everybody fucking is. We can't have people moving around. It's going to be another lockdown, whatever they decide, you know, whether, you know, through, you know, I'm talking to some guys that are like, you know, working and going around the country and training like SWAT teams. And they're getting chatter of like coordinated attacks being planned by, you know, like, and I watched this guy was a former Ranger and he goes, yo, if you killed my family, I would do everything that I had to do for as long as I lived to get my revenge on you. You can't go over there, and I didn't have nothing to do. I was against everything they did in Iraq and all of that. But you can't go over there and level that place and kill all these fucking people and then just open up the southern fucking border. You don't
Right.
and one guy goes, he was on a terrorist watch list. He's like, you don't know who I am, but soon you're gonna know exactly who I am. And then he was on a terrorist watch list. But it's like,
Do you think if they tried to do this again and pull the lockdown and this that it would go as easy as the first time?
no, because they're not gonna do the same thing. It'll always be something different. You had 9/11 and then you had COVID. What's next? The EMP shutdown of the grid and coordinated fucking terrorist attacks. What are they going to do next? Whatever it is, it's going to be like, we need to know who everybody fucking is. That's how they're going to implement. Trump is the Trojan horse, and he got a lot of the patriots fucking fooled. But he's not the guy that everybody thinks that he is. Some of these people think he is. And
I think he's like godlike.
you're going to see in the next 2 years crazy shit go down. My friend works with this organization, and that's what he told me. He's like, and he's going around training the SWAT teams, and he was, spent 20 years in the special forces, and I'm going to take his word for it, and whatever. Look, if you believe that a bunch of guys with box cutters pulled off 9/11 and the guy was able to fly a 747 10 feet above the ground when he couldn't even fly a fucking
Crop duster.
small plane simulator, and you think that he was able to pull that off, 7 World Trade, look how that shit came down, man.
Yeah.
And they announced it 23 minutes before it fell on the BBC. And my friend saw Giuliani on the fucking street after the first 2 towers, right? And that day. And he's a photographer, filmmaker, but he's also like one of us. Like, he's calling shit out. And he goes, why aren't you in the $1 billion command center that they built in 7 World Trade? He never went into that building that day. Giuliani. They built an emergency response place in 7 World Trade, and I don't know. They spent crazy money on it, and it was the command center in it for an emergency. It had everything in there. He never went in that fucking building that day. And
I wonder why.
Why aren't you in 7 World Trade?
I wonder why.
He had the memo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw him. He's probably a freak of fucking nature too. You saw him when he dressed up in drag with fucking Trump and all that shit. They got dirt on all these motherfuckers, dude, and they're just blackmailing the fuck out of them.
Sacha Baron Cohen exposed him when he tried to get the underage girl to have sex with him in the hotel room.
Who did that?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, but who was it?
Giuliani.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. And like, everybody didn't have to go to Epstein's Island. I made a statement, and it was about the New York Times. They said, yeah, there's no record that Trump ever went to Epstein Island, right? They got records that other people did, but that don't mean they were flying these girls around on private jets. They were flying them fucking overseas. They were flying them to parties in fucking Hollywood and all kinds of shit.
Epstein Island isn't the only island.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
like, bro, this is crazy.
They were flying these girls around. My friend's daughter came out of Epstein's apartment, his brownstone uptown, and Prince Andrew was standing in the doorway, and my friend's daughter was leaving, and she's like 15 years old, and the cover of the UK Sun or the UK Mirror said, "Who is this young girl that Prince Andrew was watching?" And it was my friend's daughter.
Damn.
And I sent that to Joe Rogan, and he was like, "You think you could get her to come on?" I was like, "Dude, they're so in fear of their lives.
Oh yeah.
They set them up with property over here and a farm in like horse country that's worth millions of dollars for them to keep fucking quiet on what they went down."
Yeah, of course. Of course. Well, John,
You know,
man, it's been a pleasure, John. Keep up the good fight and exposing the facts and truth out there, because we need more of it out here.
you know what, dude? Like I said, if you're still asleep at this point, there's no hope for you. And that goes for all you people calling me an anti-vaxxer or a conspiracy theorist or whatever the fuck, right wing. I ain't no wing, motherfucker. I'm the wing of fucking truth that doesn't fall for any political fucking taking fucking sides and all this shit, this WWE shit they got going on. And the fact that the punk rockers fell for that shit is like, you know, and the metalheads with all their explosions and blood and, you know, what's that band that fucking drenches in fucking goat blood and shit from Europe? They stink. They're fucking hiding under their table with masks waiting for the shots. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, wake the fuck up, dude. These people are not your friends. They wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. So don't turn on people that actually care about you and are trying to put a message out there. Don't shoot the messenger. Why are you still mad at us? Why don't you have that same level of hatred toward the motherfuckers that did that shit to you? That's the question you should be asking. You know?
Just ask questions in general, but definitely ask that question. But just ask questions. You should always question everything.
That's it. And when you ask questions, eventually you're going to get the answers, you know? And if you ever stop asking questions, that's what the Vedas are based on. That's the first sign of intelligence. When you say, who am I? Where have I been? Where am I going? What's life about? We're supposed to be asking questions. What the fuck am I doing here? You know?
Exactly.
But like, they shut down anybody from going into church and religious centers, but you were allowed to go into McDonald's or Walmart to go get a bottle of booze. That's okay. But we're going to shut you down if we consider you non-essential.
Yeah, I say those were essential. Liquor stores.
You know how many of my friends, dude, my friend Aaron, my trainer, and Rick Ritchie, they took a loan. They opened up this healing center with fucking, you know, red light saunas and all this amazing shit. They spent their life savings and they fucking lost their business. You know how many people I know lost their businesses?
It was a lot.
Dude, I go to New York, there's thousands of fucking empty storefronts everywhere. Thousands. You go up fucking the Upper West Side on Broadway and 70s, you never seen anything like it in your life. There's fucking empty shit everywhere. Because people also got the fuck out of New York at what's going on there now. Yeah. Oh, the streets are safer than ever. Oh, yeah? No, they ain't. So, you know, like, understand the people in the government and the media are not on your side. You know, and that's just, we always knew that.
Never have been, and they never will be.
Always knew that. We always knew. Everybody, Jello Biafra, where's all your songs? He was telling people
he's a big disappointment for sure.
He made a post. If you know anyone who was at the Capitol on January 6th, report him to the FBI.
My goodness.
You know, do I agree with whatever the fuck happened? No, but would I ever say rat somebody out to the feds?
Right.
I'm not a snitch.
No. The fuck? That's crazy.
You know, it's like, dude, all your messaging over the years, and then, you know, you had so much hatred toward the unvaccinated, and look what happened. You know, you fucking you got a reaction, and that's what happens. It's karma, man. You can't wish fucking harm to come to people because it's gonna come to you.
Exactly.
Look out! It's a bomb. It's beeping. All right. Hey, I know we weren't supposed to go an hour, but
It's all right.
We had a good
Oh,
time.
that's good, man. We appreciate it.
For
I
sure.
want to throw a big thank you out to Don Foos for helping us
Don
facilitate this.
Don
Shout out,
Foos,
Foos.
did he ever tell you the story about when I first went on tour with him and I gave him a Krishna book and all that? It's fucking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don does a lot to help people, man. He did a food program in Cleveland and got recognized by the mayor.
We've had multiple people on who have nothing but the highest
He's one of the
things to
best
say about him.
beings you'll ever fucking meet, man. Every time we came through there, he would make the whole band a fucking meal, and like, he's just an amazing guy, man. He's one of my best friends. I call him up and every other day. We laugh about shit. He sends me stupid memes, and we both fucking we both have a fucked up sense of humor, and that just goes to show when you just take into spiritual life, you don't lose your identity. It's like you're just adding to what you had. You don't like become a fucking robot. You know, it's like he's the same twisted motherfucker that he was. He's just into yoga and meditation now, which is amazing. You know,
All good stuff.
hey, good talking to you guys, and
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
to everybody, thumbs up.
Keep
To all the
fight.
haters, I love you. All right. Later,
Peace.
guys. All right.